Well, if it isn't your pal, exotic capsule, please. What do you do? Well, back again with another video, and today's scary story is going to be none which caught my eye while I was scrolling through the spooky story section, and came across this one story which none nevertheless is called "What is the Meaning of Life?" Kind of like the one episode of The Amazing World of Gumball, where Gumball and Darwin were trying to find the answer to the internal question, and Susie answered it for them. Yep, talking about that one episode, the question. Yeah, that must be the answer. What is the question? The question. And okay, nonetheless, that's not going to be, this story's not going to be based on that story. It's complete. This is different. As you can see here in the description, is about a married couple who see an ad in the newspaper claiming to provide an answer to the internal question: what is the meaning of life? And so then, well, let's see, what this story has in store for us today. Will we? Will this story will uncover the impossible question, the internal question? Will it be able to finally give us the true answer to the meaning of life? Well, nevertheless, we'll just have to figure it out for ourselves as I read the story. None. Well, okay. Anyways, let's begin. Here's what is the meaning of life. Enjoy. It all started when my husband and I were sitting in front of the TV one evening. My husband was leafing through the newspaper and came across a strange advertisement. It was placed in the occult services section under various other ads like how to remove a curse, let me predict your future, a charm that cures incurable illnesses. The ad that caught his eye contained only the title, an answer to the eternal question, what is the meaning of life? And beneath it was a phone number. It immediately captured our interest, and my husband decided to call and ask what kind of service was available. He picked up the phone and dialed the number. On the other end of the line, there was a beeping noise, and then someone picked up the phone. My husband said, "Hello?" But nobody answered. There was a prolonged silence on the other end, and then a loud crash. My husband winced and hung up the phone. We were baffled but that night when we were asleep in bed, the phone started ringing. It was around 2 o'clock in the morning. My husband got up and grabbed the phone. It was from the same number he had called earlier. When he answered, there was a female voice on the other end of the line. I didn't hear what she said to him. My husband looked at me with a startled expression on his face. All he could tell me was that it was probably some kind of joke, and he was going to check it out. He quickly got dressed and left the apartment. I didn't even get a chance to ask him anything more. I didn't. He didn't come back. I waited for hours, and in the morning, when my husband still had returned, I went to the police and reported him missing. They told me they couldn't do anything until he had been missing for 48 hours. But that was unprecedented, and quite the the predicament. I called our relatives, friends, and acquaintances. I called hospitals and morgues, morgues. I couldn't find them anywhere. I tried to dial the number from the ad, but the number just rang and rang that nobody picked up. At night, I laid awake wondering what could have happened and thinking about what to do next. Even though the thought filled me with dread, somewhere deep inside I was hoping that in the middle of the night the telephone would start ringing again. Oh, that was one long voice crack. Yeah, sorry about the sudden voice crack. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it actually rang. I almost dropped out of my skin. When I picked up the phone, I recognized the voice on the other end of the line. It was my husband. I heard him mutter, I'm not alone." And all at once, there was a terrible crash, and the line went dead. I hung up and tried calling that number again, but there was no answer. A month has passed since the disappearance of my husband. The police searched, but as yet, the searches have not yielded any results. The police told me that they traced the phone number, and it led them to an old abandoned house where nobody has lived for decades. This morning, I opened today's newspaper and found a similar advertisement. It was titled "An Answer to the Age-Old Question: What is the meaning of life?" And there was a different phone number, but underneath it, I think I'm going to call it. I don't know. I, I don't I don't think you should. I don't think I would trust that. I don't think you should trust that advertisement, that false advertisement, that false ad, because you might disappear just like your husband. Even though everything inside me even though everything inside me tells me that this will be the biggest mistake of my entire life, I had to call it. I'm very scared, but I need to know. But I need to know what happened to my husband. Maybe this way, we'll both discover the meaning of life. All right. Okay. Okay. That's it. That's just how. That's just how the story ends. All right. Yeah. That's just how the story ends with the wife just without without hesitation, but decided to dial up the different phone number from the ad. Well, that's nice. Well, good luck. Well, good luck disappearing just like your husband, and well, good luck trying to dial up that number and suffer the same fate as your husband. But all right, guys. So that. Also, that concludes the story. What is the meaning of life? If you guys love this video, if you guys love this story, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what other stories should I read. Comment what other stories should I read. Just open up like Safari or Google and titled and go to ScaryForKids right here on the top, on the top, and so that you'll see like numerous different types of stories and invigorating and the invigorating ones. And so then, yeah, basically just go to ScaryForKids and look and scroll through all the stories that the website has, and comment down what story should I try next. But that's all I'm going to say. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.